Good morning, fellow Toastmasters and my dear guests. My name is Mamta and I'll be the sergeant at arms for today's meeting. I welcome you all to the 130th meeting of Gabbys Toastmaster Club. Before starting the meeting, I would like to mention 3 ground rules which we follow in our Toastmaster meeting. Please turn off your mobile phones or put them on silent mode. As Toastmaster, we don't talk about sex, religion, and politics, so please refrain from discussing these topics. Please do not cross-talk. As everybody in their life has a mission to achieve their goals, likewise, our Toastmaster Club also has a mission. The mission of our Toastmasters Club is to provide a supportive and positive learning experience in which members are empowered to develop communication and leadership skills, resulting in greater self-confidence and personal growth. With this, I announce this meeting as open, and I would like to hand over the stage to the presiding officer for the day. He is an engineer and management professional in automotive industry, Toastmaster for past 2 years, a passionate learner who likes reading, traveling, gymming, and sports. Please welcome none other than Toastmaster Syed.
Yeah, that was an awesome start of the meeting. Thank you, Sergeant at Arms, Toastmaster Mamta. And thank you for that wonderful introduction also. Good morning, guests and fellow Toastmasters. A very warm welcome to the meeting number 130 of the Gabbys Toastmasters. We are President's Distinguished Toastmaster Club, and for me, it is a pleasure and privilege to be the presiding officer of this meeting today. So for guests, I think we have guest Vikram Rajagopal. Welcome to you. I hope you will enjoy this meeting today. The legacy of Dr. Ralph Smedley is now nearing 100 years. This was started in 1924 and reached almost close to 150 countries now. And this is the platform which will help us to work and excel our public speaking, communication, and leadership skills. Of course, we get this platform to network as well. And all these skills we will use in our personal and professional lives. Now, as a presiding officer, I call this meeting to order. The Gabbys has always been and becoming more and more happening place. During 2023, the educational awards are flowing with everyone win one, and to me it sounds like a corporate project, inspiring, motivating, and a challenging task. The team Gabbys is marching towards this goal with full enthusiasm and rigor, and we all are sure we will make it happen. The members are shining not only in the club but outside club, winning best speaker, best evaluator, and best table topic speaker awards. We have also reached division level in international speech contest. But for now, I think this will keep happening in Gabbys. For this meeting, let us see what we have. Let me introduce someone who is Toastmaster of the day, and she is a behavioral and leadership trainer. She found her ikigai through her job with Akshay Patra Foundation. And for those who don't know, Akshay Patra Foundation actually provides food to underprivileged schools. And I had actually visited one of them in Ahmedabad, and I was too much impressed with the cause and the task they are doing. I think it's really unmatchable. Lakshmi is facilitating the training programs pan India, helping upskill and motivate the frontline workers of Akshay Patra. So let's put all our hands together to welcome Toastmaster of the Day, Lakshmi Sujata. The dais is all yours.
Thank you so much, Presiding Officer, Toastmaster Syed. It's been a long, long time since I took up this beautiful role of a team mod. Any idea why? I don't think it's very relevant here. But there's something else that is relevant. Why, how did this theme of any idea come into picture? A week back, Nancy pinged me on WhatsApp and said, hey, Lax, can you take up the role of team mod this Saturday for this Saturday's meeting? As usual, she didn't get an instant reply from me. I think it took a day or a few hours. And I said, And you know why that was coming? Because I had no idea what the theme should be. And I asked Nancy, hey, Nancy, I can take up the team mod role, but what should the theme be? Any idea? And then Nancy, the usual bubbly, cheerful, inspiring person that she is, she said, you are the master of this. You should know what you can do it. Come on, you can do it. I was like, Nancy, that's not what I expected from you this time. And within 5 minutes, it pings me, hey, Lax, the theme, any idea? I was like, could that get better than this? Such a wonderful idea. And I would like to thank Nancy for reaching out and helping me find the idea, or rather the theme for this meeting. So that's how the theme of the meeting was born last week. Now, fine, I have any idea as the theme, but how do I take it forward? I thought. That's when I realized any idea is something that we use so often in our lives every single day. Whether it is to take a decision, whether we are confused, or whether it is the birth of a new innovation or idea. This question, when asked in different ways, gives you different responses. Any idea what I should wear for the meeting? Any idea what I should cook? Any idea what the theme of the meeting should be? Hey, any idea why the sun rises in the east and not in the west? Hey, any idea why do we have to take that oil bath on Diwali? Do you have any idea how much money your father and me have to spend on your education? And look at you, what you're doing. Right? The same any idea giving you 3 different responses. The first one is asking for help. Any idea what I should wear? I'm confused. Please help me. Help me sort out the troubles of my life. The second any idea is any idea why the sun rises in the east? A question to go deep into the matter, to understand what is happening, or rather why it is happening. And of course, the third why, do you have any idea how much we have to slog to get you that toy? Rhetorical question, any idea? Yes? So whatever be the reason, this is a very powerful statement, any idea. And it is about how we want to deal with any ideas of our life. Quite often than not, when people reach out to us with their any ideas, let's take a few minutes to understand why they are reaching out to us. Is it because they seek help? Or is it just because they want to learn something new? And our response should be based on that. So any idea who our general evaluator of the day is? That's a question to all my lovely Toastmasters here. Looks like no one's paying attention. Any idea who is the general evaluator for the day?
Vikram.
Toastmaster Vikram. Absolutely right. Thank you. That was just to see how many of you are paying attention to what I'm talking, to just get an idea of what is happening on the other side of the black screen. Before we go forward and introduce the general evaluator, I would like to give a good idea on the structure of the Toastmasters meeting, especially to our guests who have joined us for the first time. The first part of the meeting is the prepared speeches. So during the prepared speeches, the participants would come, or the Toastmasters would deliver a speech already prepared based on the project that they are working on. The second part of the meeting is the evaluation session. So here, Toastmasters is an area or a place where we don't just speak, but we also get a fair idea or a good idea of how effective our speech was. And to help us with that, we have our evaluation section. In this, our and seasoned evaluators would give you good idea on what you have done or how you have delivered the speech. The last and the final session would be the TTM, or the table topic session. During the table topic session, you can practice your impromptu speeches. Of course, I cannot let go of the general evaluator session, where the timers, the grammarian, our counter, and the listener, along with the general evaluator, would give us the overall picture of how good our meeting was, or what are the areas of improvement. With that, with the context set on how the structure of our meeting is going to be, I would like to first invite our general evaluator for the day. He has been a Toastmaster for 8 years across 3 different clubs. He has given 30+ speeches. He has won awards. He has also been the executive committee. And even after these 30 speeches, he says he has butterflies in his stomach when he comes on stage. But I'm sure those butterflies would fly away the minute he starts speaking, because he is the expert. And he believes Toastmasters is that place where he can make mistakes without feeling any guilt with him. With that, I would like to hand over the stage to our general evaluator, Toastmaster Vikram Rajagopal.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Lakshmi. After the meeting started, I switched off my video and asked my wife any idea who is this girl. And then I told her she is the one who created a rage in Instagram with the Tum Tum video. And I was so happy to show her that, yes, she's the girl. Thank you so much. Good morning, Toastmasters and guests from the Gabbys Toastmasters Club. I'm a general evaluator today. I like this role. It's more like the principal of this Toastmaster meeting. Still, it's a very, very tough role. I'm sure that I'll be able to do justice to this role. There is a team called Taggle: timer, accountant, grammarian, and listener. Now, I am fond of all these 4 roles because this is what Toastmasters is all made of. First, the timer, Nitesh. Toastmasters, many people feel that this is a place where we can convert an introvert to an extrovert. No, This is a place which allows introvert to speak well and an extrovert to speak well. Now, if I say how, because of the timer, the timer will urge the introvert to speak more and will urge the extrovert to speak less. He will tell how it is. Before that, Toastmaster Nitesh Rajput, currently working as a senior engineer in Target Corporation, Bangalore, and a father of 4 years daughter. He likes traveling, playing badminton, and reading books. Toastmaster Nitesh, the stage is yours.
Good morning, everyone. Yeah, this is very, my first meeting, and few days back when Nancy pinged me, like, you are not attending meetings. I was very busy last month, and she asked me, would you like to take any role for upcoming meetings? So timer role is open, so you take that role. I literally have no idea, like, how this role, what I have to do, but I thought let's start from somewhere. So no more waitings. I thought let's take this and start participating in the meetings.
Can you share the timer cards, or do you have access to share the timer cards, Toastmaster Nitesh?
No.
Can the Zoom master give him access to share the timer cards? Do you have the timer cards, Toastmaster Nitesh?
No.
Okay. We need the Zoom master. Can you help him with the timer cards?
Nitesh, how are you going to show the timing? Is it the cards or background change?
I can do it through card. Maybe like.
Do you have different color objects with you? Red, yellow, green?
Nitesh, I will send you the backgrounds.
Okay, sure.
Just change it, to do a background change.
Okay, all right.
I'm sending you over WhatsApp.
Sure. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Saurabh. And there will be 5 to 7 minutes for a speaker.
Yeah.
There will be green card at 5 minutes, yellow card at 6 minutes, and red card at 7 minutes. Same day for evaluation, it's 2 to 3 minutes. 2 minutes green card, 2.5 minutes yellow card, and 3 minutes red card.
Okay.
When it comes to double topics, it's 1 to 2 minutes. Green card at 1 minute, yellow card at 1.5 minutes, and red card at 2 minutes. And I would request Nitesh to note down all the timings.
Yeah, sure.
Because we will be asking you for the timer report, and is the speaker qualified for voting on it? Let's move on to the next role player. Toastmaster Lakshmi, Sri Lakshmi Hegde. Should I have to read out her profile? I can only say that I am a fan of her in Instagram, and I follow all her posts in Instagram. In fact, I discuss the etiquettes that she shares with my colleagues during my lunchtime discussions. I always would like to have my lunchtime discussions effectively, not with boss gossips. I always like to have some intellectual topics, and Sri Lakshmi gives me the idea to have some intellectual topics. She is a certified image consultant and a soft skills trainer by profession. Her interest in public speaking and leadership skills made her join Toastmasters. She is a double, triple crown winner. I repeat, double, triple crown winner and a double path breaker. She is the founder of Imaginetic Image Consulting Services. She is the R counter for today. I have asked many guests and Toastmasters to know the beauty of Toastmasters just because of this role, R counter. I'm sure that this role is not in any of the communication community that is prevalent in the world right now. Toastmaster Lakshmi, the stage is yours to know more about R counter.
Thank you, G. Vikram. Your words made me to encourage, do more work in my professional life. Also, thank you very much for a role introducing me in this way, encouraging about my Instagram post. as coming to the R counter report, I will take a note of the chore, pose, filler words, but, like, but, and repetitive words. If anyone repeated somewhat, those kind of words, I will make note of it. At the end, when you follow up, I come out with report. Thank you. Over to you, GE.
Thank you so much. Now, grammarian. Grammarian is one such role in Toastmasters where we need not be a Renan Martin or a BE BEd kind of a BA BEd English literature. No, you need to be a Toastmaster to be a grammarian. So that's the beauty of being a Toastmaster. We have Mr. Pratyush, Toastmaster Pratyush. He has worked in a highway design and construction industry for about 4 years now. Currently working in Arcadis as urban roads design engineer for UK projects. Passionate about geopolitics, stock market, and business case studies, music, following a healthy lifestyle, and badminton. Toastmaster Pratyush, the stage is yours to know more about the grammarian role.
Thank you, Toastmasters Vikram. It's always great to be at Gabbys Toastmasters Club. This is the first time I'm taking a role here. So my role as a grammarian is my responsibility to pay close attention to all speakers and listen carefully to the language usage. I'll take note of any improper language as well as any outstanding words. And then for today's meeting, the word of the day is emergence. An example of the word emergence could be the emergence of an idea is a gradual process. And I would encourage each speaker to use the word of the day, emergence. I'll give my grammarian's report when called upon during the end of the meeting. Thank you. Thank you. Over to you, Toastmasters Vikram.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Pratyush. I'm introducing one more role, listener role, which is going to be done by Toastmaster Vikram Rao. Now, this role, the moment my colleagues or friends talk about Toastmasters, they say, you people talk so much in Toastmasters. Really? We actually listen so much in Toastmasters meeting. We don't talk. Hardly a speaker gets 5 to 7 minutes. Probably Lakshmi as a TMOD gets more time, that too in a staggered way. So in a 2 hours meeting, hardly 10 minutes we talk. The rest we listen. And do we listen properly? Here we are. Toastmaster Vikram Rao is the listener today. His introduction. All we need is love, learning, and a loaf of bread is what Toastmaster Vikram always believes in. He's a certified coach and currently heads the learning and development for SARC's 5th Avenue. He loves being fit and an active access consciousness practitioner. Toastmaster Vikram Rao, the stage is yours.
Thank you, G. Vikram. Being an effective communicator is as much about listening as it is about speaking and our ability to articulate. But many of us give listening a very stepmotherly treatment. I'm the listener for the meeting, and I'm going to note interesting tidbits of information from all the speakers and ask questions at the end of the meeting to check if everyone is paying attention. Back to you, G.
Thank you so much. Quickly, 10 seconds. Toastmaster Nitesh, are you aware of the cards? Are you going to show the cards through the virtual background? Can we have a check? Toastmaster Nitesh?
I'm sorry. I was dropped off due to connectivity.
Okay. Will you be able to share the timer cards?
Yeah.
Can you please show us the Toastmaster cards, the timer cards?
Sure.
Nitesh, I've sent the cards to you over WhatsApp. Just come on and just change your background using those cards.
Sure.
I now hand over it to Toastmaster of the day, Lakshmi. However, before starting of the first speaker, we would go for a timer check once again. Thank you. Yeah, now here we go. Good. Good to go. Thanks. Yeah. Toastmaster Lakshmi, over to you.
Thank you so much, General Evaluator, and to your travel team for briefing us on your roles and giving us a good idea of what to expect at the end of this meeting from each one of you here. Without further ado, let's get into the first session of this, first section of this Toastmasters meeting, which is the prepared speeches. We have 3 prepared speeches for today, and we have 5 evaluators. You will know soon why we have 5 evaluators as we go ahead with the meeting. Before I could invite the first speaker on stage, I would like to invite the first evaluator. She is a Toastmaster for more than 3 years. She has completed the path Innovative Planning and volunteered for multiple events. She was the past president of TCS Maitri Bangalore, which achieved distinguished status and won multiple awards during her tenure. Let's welcome Toastmaster Paduka Kannan as the evaluator 1 to help us understand the objectives and purpose of the first speaker.
Thank you very much, TM Modi Lakshmi. So today the speaker 1 is Toastmaster Pranav Pothan, is attempting his level 1 speech 3 of path motivational strategies. So the purpose of the speech is for the member to practice vocal variety or the body language to enhance the speech. Timer, please note the time. It is from 5 to 7 minutes. All the best to Toastmaster Pranav.
Thank you, Toastmaster Paduka. Now to introduce the first speaker. However, before that, to the timer, the time is 5 to 7 minutes, which is at the 5th minute, we would see the green card, at the 6th minute, the yellow card, and at the 7th minute, the red card. Toastmaster Pranav, he is working as an analyst in fintech company in Bangalore, who joined Toastmasters to develop his public speaking and leadership skills. Toastmaster Pranav, power of resilience. Power of resilience, Toastmaster Pranav.
This piece of paper is really special, just like you and me. You are a repository of ideas, thought, and belief. Just like that, this paper has been used by many authors around the world to express their ideas. But all is not well with any of us. Sometimes life is so cruel. It starts folding you like this incessantly. It tears you and drops you down. Toastmasters, a couple of years ago, I was like this broken piece of paper. If you observe my right index finger, there is a deep cut here. A large window pane had fallen on my right hand. It happened during the vacation of my 12th board exams. I didn't realize what was happening, but just then I saw my mother who was there. She was screaming like anything. Blood was dripping down, and when I saw that, I just fainted. I was taken to a nearby hospital. The doctor, he was going to truss my wounds, but then he observed a deep cut in my right index finger. And then he said, Pranav, I suspect there is some deep injury inside this. You may need to take an X-ray. I was shocked. But anyway, I went and took the X-ray and I met the doctor. Now, the doctor was sitting there. He was holding the X-ray report and he was looking back and forth between the X-ray report and me. And there was tension in his eye. Pranav, is there something which happened to you? Can you elaborate what exactly happened to you? I just elaborated what had happened to me. Now the doctor sighed and he said, Pranav, I suspect there is a deep nerve cut. You may need to go for a small surgery and you may need to rest for a couple of weeks. When I heard that, I was shocked, but there was no other way. The surgery was performed and you cannot believe what happened. There was a long plaster on my right hand. I was feeling very stiff on my right hand and the doctor said I shouldn't move the right hand for around 3 weeks. Now, the problem was that the exams were near and I had only 1.5 months to prepare. Anyway, for the 3 weeks, it was like hell. I couldn't use my right hand. It was very stiff. I had to use my left hand for eating, for bathing, and I was sitting bored all the time. I went back and then I removed the plaster after the 3 weeks. Then the doctor asked me to fold my fingers. But the problem was that I couldn't fold the finger completely, my index finger, but I could fold the other fingers properly. The doctor said, maybe you need a physiotherapy. If it doesn't happen, like you can't move it for a long time, then you may need a physiotherapy. I went back, I was dejected, but then the thought of exams came to my mind. I decided to start practicing writing, and I took this pen and tried to start writing. But the moment I hold the pen, the problem was that I couldn't move my index finger. I had to support my hand like this and I had to move it like this. Within 15 minutes, I developed a pain in my right hand and I had to drop my pen. For 3-4 days, I couldn't do anything and I was dejected. I was thinking of giving up for this exam, that I shouldn't write this exam. But then one night I had a bad dream. A dream where I would be the mockery of the town, where I would be a physically handicapped person and I will be sitting with my juniors and writing the exam. Next day I woke up. There was determination in my eyes. I had to do something about this. And then an idea emerged out of it. I took my pen, then I didn't use my index finger. I started supporting on my other finger and I started writing. Now, it was a very difficult process because when you use the other finger, you may not get the speed which you usually get when you use the index finger. So, I just practiced that. Within around 15 days, I managed to write properly. But there was a problem with the speed. I practiced day and night. Sometimes I used to feel like I need to give up because this whole exercise was becoming so futile. Anyway, within 15 days, I managed to complete an exam in 3 hours and I was confident about it. I went and gave my exam with full spirit and believe me, I managed to get very good scores in the exams and I emerged one of the top rankers in the class. Toastmasters, when I look at you, I see a fighter in you, a fighter who can relate with the incident which happened in my life. I give you 2 options. Either you could give up your fight now and lie down like those broken pieces of paper. It doesn't really matter. Nobody really bothers about you. But understand, in this journey, you alone and you alone are there to survive the difficulties you are going to go through. But there is a second option. Just like this piece of which is folded, you can Toastmasters, if you observe, there will be a lot of bruises in your face or hand or in physically or mentally. But those are bruises of resilience, the hard fight you have throughout in your life, and you will always be acclaimed for it. I chose this path and it made all the difference in my life. Let me ask you, which one would you choose? Thank you and over to you, Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Pranav. That was a very motivating and inspiring speech. Gives us the hope that yes, we can fight if we really want to, rather than flying away. Coming to the next speaker evaluator combination. Here we have an extra evaluator because the evaluator too is also attempting his speech. Is also attempting his project, which is the L1 P2 project, which is on evaluation, on how to give a good evaluation. Hence, to evaluate our second speaker, we have evaluator Toastmaster Chitrakshi. So I would like to first invite her. Toastmaster Chitrakshi is an image management professional.
Toastmaster Lakshmi?
Yes.
Instead of Toastmaster Chitrakshi, it's our AD, Toastmaster Priyanka Ranore, who's going to evaluate DTM sort.
Okay, thank you so much. So let me invite Toastmaster Priyanka. I've had the fortune to interact with her twice. And let me tell you, such a down-to-earth and humble person with such focus on what she has to do. Amazing she is. And I'm so glad that I've got these two opportunities to interact with you, Toastmaster Priyanka. I would like to now invite you on stage to kindly share the objectives of Toastmaster Saurav Datta's project.
Hello, everyone. A very good morning. I am sorry, my camera isn't working. The purpose of this project is to practice applying feedback and serve as a speech evaluator during a club meeting. And the purpose of the speech is also for the member to deliver a constructive feedback on another member's presentation. Timer, please note the speech length is 5 to 7 minutes. The speaker is attempting project 4 level 1 on pathways, motivational strategies. Over to you.
Thank you so much. So just to give a little more understanding, clarity on this, Toastmaster Priyanka would be evaluating the evaluation of DTM Saurav Datta, who is our second evaluator for the day. So let me invite distinguished Toastmaster Saurav Datta for giving us this brief of the project of the second speaker. Distinguished Toastmaster Saurav Datta, he has 2 decades with HP Target, JCPenney, and ICBI. Distinguished Toastmaster Saurav Datta is the Division Director for Division B, District 92. He is also the VP membership for the Gabbys Toastmasters Club. Now, this is his introduction, a formal introduction, but we all know that he's much more than these words. So let me welcome distinguished Toastmaster Saurav Datta to give the project objectives of our second speaker.
Thank you, Toastmaster Lakshmi. So the speaker today is attempting the third part of the project called evaluation and feedback. So this project is in 3 parts. The first part is where the speaker will have to do a speech and get feedback, receive feedback from another evaluator. The second part, the speaker will have to implement the feedback. This is what the speaker is attempting today. He will be implementing the feedback he received for an earlier speech. The third part of the project is where the speaker will have to himself provide a feedback to someone else, which is what I am attempting to do. So the speaker's project objectives for today's speech is to apply the feedback. The purpose of this project is to practice applying feedback and serve as a speech evaluator during a club meeting. This is the next part. The purpose of this speech is for the member to demonstrate their ability to deliver an effective, respectful speech evaluation speech. So I've also collected the feedback that the speaker received for the earlier speech. So today, while the speaker is speaking, the speaker would implement these 2 feedbacks. 1, voice intonation and body language. He would improve on what he did previously. And second, he would have an uniform pace during the speech. He would not have rushed through parts in the speech by using pauses effectively. The timer, please note that the timing is 5 to 7 minutes. All the best to the target speaker. Over to you, Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you, DTM Saurav Datta. The second speaker of the day, Toastmaster Ritvik. He is a product manager by profession and is passionate about tech, travel, photography, and video making. Toastmaster Ritvik, my learnings on financial literacy. My learning on financial literacy, Toastmaster Ritvik.
Is the timer pinned? I can't see the timer.
I'll pin the timer when he's on green.
Okay. Good morning. Let me take you to a conversation which I had with my wife just after my marriage when I took her to a fine dining experience. I diverged the plans of going our first trip abroad, and then she asked me a question. Hey, shouldn't we take a domestic trip, and what is going to be your saving after this trip? I sheepishly answered, it will probably be somewhere around the restaurant bill which is coming now. She was shocked. She asked me, aren't you working for the last 7 years and you're saying your balance is this much? The defensive me had to answer that, hey, I was spending on travel, following my passion, paying my debts. So don't worry about this thing. The future me is going to take care of all this. She was not satisfied with the answer. Deep down inside, I also knew I had made up the answer just then, and I had never actually given a thought about this. Good morning, Toastmasters, dear guest. Today, I am going to give a speech on my learnings and reflection on the financial literacy of whatever I have gathered in the last few years. These are based on the different excerpts from my discussion with my friends, following different financial influencers or different books. So I will break down this into 5 learnings. The first learning is tracking and labeling the different bank accounts as income, investment, and expenditure. The reason why I realize this is important, it can be 2 or 3, depending on whatever, is that because the act of labeling itself ensures a discipline in our lifestyle. As the famous saying goes, what gets measured gets managed. And that's where I found this tip very useful. Coming to the second learning, I don't mix insurance with the investment. In my first few years of my life, I was happily investing in the insurance products, thinking of as an investment, which I later realized that the returns are not even beating the saving interest rate, nor it is serving the purpose of insurance where the coverage is very low and it don't serve any meaningful purpose. I cut down on debt losses, and without naming the products, like I was lucky enough to understand that insurance is for a very different purpose, and I invested in the right insurance product, which is like term insurance, and break out of that. The third, and probably the most important lesson which I learned, and if there's one takeaway from this, it should be this, is understanding the time value of money. Now, what it means is that the value of money depreciates over the time. To put things in perspective, let's do a simple exercise. Let's go back 10 or 12 years down the line and think of anything which you used to spend any money and what you're spending today. Let's take a few seconds. I'll give the example of what I used to spend, which I remember because I have the same bike now, wherein I used to get my petrol tank full in 500 rupees. Today, the same thing cost me around 1,000 rupees to get the petrol tank filled. Now, what it simply means is that the value of the money has gone half. And why is this important is that I used to get enamored when I used to hear people saying that, hey, my investment has doubled in the last, the yield from my land or this thing has gone double in the last 10 years. Now, that gives a segue into the most important tip which I found useful is the 72 by X rule. I repeat, the 72 divided by X rule, where X is the rate of return or inflation. Now, what it means is that the standard inflation, which we have around 6%, 72 by 6 is equal to 12, which means in 12 years, anyway, the value of money is going to get double. So anything that I get the opportunity now to invest or something, I always look at this that, okay, what is the rate of return and in how much time the money is going to get half or double, depending on the tenure, because it should at least beat the inflation to ensure that it serves the purpose. I'll get into the fourth learning now, which is ensuring that the income inflation is greater than the lifestyle inflation. The income inflation is greater than the lifestyle inflation. Now, what it means is that I used to think that, hey, saving is going to happen in the future part, right? Because I'm not earning that much enough. And what I realized is that the act of saving is important, and always ensure that whatever the life upgrades I'm doing, it is in commensurate to the income inflation which is happening. Because if both are in sync, then the saving is never going to happen. And that also gives the importance of having an emergency fund where you're able to have 6 months of emergency in uncertain times, which can happen anytime. Now, the fifth and the last important learning was around the investment. I always used to think that the stock markets are for the elite few, or it's an act of gambling. Why to risk your hard-earned money into something like this? Little did I know that there is a systematic way of investing, and there are definitely trading, and all has pros and cons. And what I realized for me is that I was too risk averse. And now one of the quotes which keeps me grounded is, investing is risky, but not investing is riskier. And the reason is because of the previous concepts, which is about the time value of money and the other principles that we saw. So this has ensured that the financial instruments can be different. I mean, that depends on the personal taste, the personal interest. It can be gold, it can be real estate, it can be anything. But this has ensured that, okay, now I'm investing a decent amount of money in investing and try to learn about these things, because I was not financially literate earlier. I mean, in spite of being an engineer and an MBA. So to summarize all of this, the takeaway which I found is that the balance for me should lie somewhere in between, which is not at the extreme of investing everything, or not at the extent of experiencing and travel and spending everything out. Because I mean, those also have a value which can't be quantified, but those are the experiences which you can have only at a certain time. So I'd like to summarize by just the 5 learnings. Number 1, tracking the different investment under income expenditure. Number 2, not mixing insurance with investment. Number 3, understanding the time value of money. Number 4, starting investing. And number 5, which is keeping the income inflation greater than the lifestyle inflation. So that's my time. Thanks a lot. Thank you, Toastmaster.
Thank you, Toastmaster Ritvik, for bringing to us such a valid point where all of us are working hard, but also telling us the importance of investing it in the right way. Moving ahead, let's go to the third speaker. But before the third speaker, let's go to the evaluator of the third speaker. Evaluator of the third speaker. So I would like to invite Toastmaster Syed. Toastmaster Syed, he is an engineer management professional in the automotive industry. He is the Toastmaster for the last 2 years, a passionate learner who likes reading, traveling, gymming, and sports. So Toastmaster Syed would brief us about the project that our Evaluator 3 Distinguished Toastmaster Nancy is going to attempt today. Thank you.
The introduction itself was very complicated, but I'll try to make it simple here. DTM Nancy is following or pursuing engaging humor path, and this is level 2 project where she has to practice applying feedback, really. Okay, and then serve as a speech evaluator during club meetings, and last but not the least, to deliver an engaging and constructive feedback after listening to the speech. All the best.
Thank you, Toastmaster Syed, for briefing us on Toastmaster Nancy's project guidelines. Now, I would like to introduce our evaluator 3, who's going to be evaluating the speech by the speaker 3. Distinguished Toastmaster Nancy. She is the Educom lead with District 92, past area director, area E2. She's a Grand Slam Master Mentor awardee, Vice President Education at the Gabbys Toastmasters Club, certified image consultant and personal branding coach. And her introduction just doesn't stop there. She is a fine human being as well. Someone who is very empathetic and always have a listening ear to all our problems. Let me invite distinguished Toastmaster Nancy to kindly give the project objectives of our third speaker.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Lakshmi, for such a warm and hefty introduction. My target speaker is attempting a project from his 5th path. This path is effective. Effective coaching, yes. And his project is level 3, project 2, researching and presenting. The purpose of this project is for the member to learn or review basic research methods and present a well-organized, well-researched speech on any topic. The time duration for the speech is 5 to 7 minutes. All the best to my target speaker, and over to Toastmaster Lakshmi.
Thank you, DTM Nancy. Our third speaker for the day, he's a teacher, trainer, and coach in the domain of construction. With his coaching, he has impacted over 500 plus professional lives. He's a consultant who checks the health of occupied buildings. Toastmaster Nagesh, opportunity to disagreement. Opportunity to disagreement, Toastmaster Nagesh.
Thank you. An audio check. Am I audible? Very well.
Yes.
How many of you have had disagreements at your workplace? Some of you, I'm sure many of you. In next few minutes, I will show you how these disagreements are actually an opportunities. Good morning, Toastmasters. For one crucial project meeting presentation, I had decided to have a recce to gather the preparation of my team members. I had full confidence on my team, but I wanted to ensure they present authentic and factual data. But secretly, I was attempting to prepare them for possible questions and disagreements. Yes, you heard it right, disagreements. Often in our meetings, the clients who were not so technically qualified used to seek clarifications. The conversation used to lead into arguments and disagreements. The meeting used to end unpleasantly. Being new to that particular account, with egos flying high on both the sides, I was actually perplexed about the conduct of those learned people around the discussion table. I realized suddenly I had a great responsibility on my shoulders at this new place. My team members would provide a lot of technical details, and the client there was not impressed. They felt actually intimidated and were not accepting the responses. Not a good situation, right? They felt that something was not being shown to them, and whatever was shown to them was quoted with technical jargons. And they also thought that this was being done purposely, and they were feeling very upset. I had to assure them that I would look into this and come back to them shortly. Neither of them were wrong. It looked like a very simple problem, and I'm sure it had a complex solution. I was not sure where the solution was. I was not sure what was I missing there. I couldn't comprehend. And more I think about it, my responsibility on my shoulders grew. I was in a middle where these two teams were on the either side of the spectrum. Searching, I chanced upon an article by Don Davis, Kenneth Rice, and Tracy McCroy. They had researched on distinguishing faculties of general and intellectual humility. They had made a profound revelation. In their study at University of Texas, these researchers had mentioned that sincerity, honesty, and unselfishness are part of general humility. Whereas understanding the limits of one's knowledge is part of intellectual humility. The second part of the research on intellectual humility was that complex solution to my problem. Actually, it is simple. Usually we believe that we are right than everybody else, at least better than most of the people. You would have observed that there is difficulty in admitting when we are wrong. This demerits take root when we are very, very young, and it grows with us as we grow. John Davis and his team's research revealed that willingness to be receptive to sources of suggestions, corrections, and being in the state of openness to gather ideas, the new ideas, will do us more good. Admitting that might be wrong and working upon ourselves will help us improve in being intellectually humble. Imagine in this world, if everyone, including at our workplaces, everyone thinks and acts that they are right at all times. Chaos, isn't it? Armed with this new knowledge, I started that Reiki session with my team. As soon as I entered the room, I asked them, I need an honest answer from you all. Are we in a situation of fear that we will expose ourselves about our ignorance or something else? Everyone in the room knew the context. While I trusted my team, I had to deliberately and boldly use the word honest. That word had significant effect. They were looking each other in silence. After exchanging a few glances, one of them cheekily said, honestly, yes. Then a few others also nodded. I smiled and said, it's okay if we don't know something. Let's admit that and put it an effort to getting to know something and be more productive. We can always gather what we don't know. We can get back to the client later. Let's move on. After that Reiki session and few other deliberations, many of my team members collected accolades from that client. For next 5 years, we were with them. Usain Bolt was once asked, how does he feel winning the gold medal after being the fastest man on the earth? He had said, I'm the world's fastest man till I'm on that podium. After that, I will have to work hard throughout the year to get that title again. That's intellectual humility. The critical feature of intellectual humility is that we should let go of all those ideas that holds us from our growth. We should be willing to accept and admit that we might be wrong. When in disagreements, let's retrospect and see if we have an opportunity to grow and be different. Let's not overestimate our capacities and underestimate somebody else's. Curiosity is that wick in the candle of learning. TMO.
I was so engrossed in your speech, Toastmaster Nagesh, that it took me some time to realize that the speech is done. Thank you so much for enlightening us and bringing such a beautiful point with such simplicity to each one of us here. Thank you so much. Moving ahead, Let's hear what our evaluators have to say about the brilliant speeches that we heard today. For that, I would like to first invite our first evaluator, Toastmaster Paduka, to evaluate the speech that was delivered by Toastmaster Pranav. Timer, kindly note the time limit for this is 2 to 3 minutes. The green light would be at 2, yellow at 2.5, and red at 3. Thank you, and over to you, Toastmaster Paduka.
Okay, just a second. I'm trying to find the timer here. All right. Rise and shine, Gabbys. So, Toastmaster Pranav. I mean, I understand this is your level 1 speech 3, so definitely a very good attempt for a level 1 speech. So we would evaluate, we would see both based on what you did well and what you need to improve. All right. So first, what you did well. Like throughout your speech, I mean, since it is a motivational strategy path, so that the content that you have chosen, the story that you have chosen is fantastic. I think everybody at least I got hooked to your story till the end. And coming to vocal variety, I must say, there are certain words that you have used, like say deep cut, or so that kind of, the words that you have done, like, the pronunciation, I mean, I must say the intonation, or with respect to the words, it is very well. Okay. However, since it's a vocal variety and this is more about with respect to the body language and everything, I felt that your complete speech is a bit monotonous tone, in the sense I felt like it's more I sitting in a Rajdhani Express. Right from the start, you switched on, and then you just kept on going and going and going. There should be some pauses, and especially whenever you say the doctor was holding my report. So you were like continuously keep on iterating fast. There are certain places, certain sentences where you need to pause, so that, especially the places where it is a bit edgy and all those things. So those are the things that you have to improve. And coming to the gestures, I think I didn't find much issues with your hand gestures, and good job using a prop, and you were able to relate the prop with your content. So good job on that as well. However, what I observed is you were keep on moving, back and forth. I would able to observe that. So which shows that you're a little bit anxious, right? So you can, I know it's not easier since you're doing your level 1, but however, I would want you to look out for all these things, unknown, unintentional body language movement as well. So with this, Toastmaster Pranav, I must say definitely your message was lucid and your content was good. However, a little bit of improvement with respect to your vocals, which of course your objective as well. But it's a good attempt right now. But I want you to watch out for your further speeches as well. Okay, with that, yes, you can definitely ace the public speaking. Over to you, TM Modi.
Thank you, Toastmaster Paduka, for that candid feedback. Next, I would like to call upon distinguished Toastmaster Saurav Datta to evaluate the speech delivered by Toastmaster Ritvik.
One second, I'm just pinning the speaker. Where is the speaker? Ritika, here. And the timer. Okay.
I've spotlighted.
Thank you. Toastmaster Ritvik. Rather, all the Toastmasters in the room. I got a gift in a box, which is 14 inches by 8 inches by 5 inches. Means nothing, right? I got a small pen. Someone gifted me a small pen in a box, which was 14 inches by 8 inches by 5 inches. Still means nothing. I got a pen in a box, which is as big as the size of a shoebox. Now, does it make sense? Numbers in isolation mean nothing unless they're put into perspective, right? Because if we don't tell them, if I tell you that the population of this country is so many million or so many billion, or the GDP is this million or that million, it will mean nothing for you unless I tell you this is as big as this. And that was probably the best aha moment in your speech, Ritvik. When you brought in that petrol analogy, I think everyone here could understand what you were talking about. And that is important. Numbers are important. As a data person, I always believe that in God we trust, rest all must bring data. But data in isolation mean nothing unless you give the story behind the numbers, and you absolutely rocked it there. That's right. I liked your screen presence and the way you came across, as a subject matter expert. It was very evident that you know what you're talking about. And a very informative speech at that. Now let me quickly shift gears and talk about a few things you could have done better. What was the objective of your speech, Ritvik? Was it to give us information? You know something I don't? Or was it to educate me about something so that I can go and work on that? Or was it to make it more instructive, where you give me a set of instructions? It was never clear during the course of your speech, what were you trying to achieve? Somewhere I felt you were trying to do all the three. Very ambitious for a 5 to 7 minutes duration. Because if you can achieve only one of this, information, instruction, or education in 5 to 7 minutes, that will be like hitting the balls out of the park. Not because of your oratorial skills, but because of my absorption skills. I have my limitations as a human, right? To process this much of information and then act on it. So please be kind to the souls like me who don't have such high processing power, and give us tidbits of information with a very clear objective. Here, Saurabh, I tell you 5 things you need to do to, kind of add money to your bank account. Simple. Not even 5 things. I would want you to limit to 1 or 2 things at most, because that's all I can process in 5 to 7 minutes. This is the only thing which I would want to add to what the previous evaluator mentioned. In terms of the pace and the pause, I think because you tried to pack in so much of content, your pace again was a little overboard. It could go down slightly more. And when you do that, your vocal variety and intonations will definitely increase. It'll get better. So to summarize, please ensure that you are not packing in all that you want to say, but only what you need to say. But please keep enlightening us with the story behind the numbers. You killed it with that. Thank you, Toastmaster.
Thank you, distinguished Toastmaster Saurabh Datta, for yet another fabulous evaluation and making us look at evaluation from a different perspective and not with just the usual set of rules. Next, I would like to call upon distinguished Toastmaster Nancy Goel to evaluate the speech that was delivered by Toastmaster Nagesh.
May I have Toastmaster Nagesh on spotlight? All right, also the timer. Thank you. Toastmaster Nagesh and my dear fellow Toastmasters. This project was research and presenting, which means that this project is supposed to be heavy on ears. When we say heavy on ears, Toastmaster Nagesh was expected to share well-researched content with the sources. That's what he did. So talking about the project objective, yes, he has prepared the speech, well-researched speech that was quoted with sources wherever required. Now, since the content was heavy on ears, Toastmaster Nagesh, I felt one thing that stood out in your entire speech was your enunciation. The way you were using your words, you were mentioning each and everything one after the other. Let me quote one of your words here, one of your statements here. Conduct of learned people around the table. With appropriate pauses, you mentioned sentences like these so that we are able to absorb what you are saying. That was the highlight of your entire speech, the pauses and the enunciation. Second thing that I really liked in your speech was the storyline. Since it was a research and presentation project, you had an appropriate storyline. I was so intrigued to know what happened next, how you tackled the challenges that were posed by the team. So it was not just facts coming my way, but also something interesting that I was more intrigued to know more and more and more what's going to happen next. Since this is your fifth path and this is level 3, I won't say, I won't talk about OBC or the structure and other things. Everything was apt. I would rather like to talk about 2 things that could have improved your speech, especially this project speech. One thing that I felt was your body language. When I say body language, yes, you are using appropriate body language when it comes to presenting facts, like I'm doing right now. But when we are presenting facts, it's important to be a little loud with your body language so that you kept audience attention. Use the entire stage, the virtual stage, rather than just standing at one point and being natural with your body language. Why is it required? So that people are hooked not only to your words, but to your body language as well. Second thing I felt was you talked about a problem, you talked about a complex solution, but I wasn't able to understand what kind of project it was. Since I know you personally, I know what kind of projects you are into, but a little bit of background for those who don't know your background would have helped here. So these are the 2 points of areas of improvement from my end. All in all, your speech was well delivered, well researched. All the best for your upcoming speeches. Thank you.
Thank you, distinguished Toastmaster Nancy Gupta, for your Nancy Goel for your. I think it just came. Sorry about that. So, distinguished Toastmaster Nancy Goel, for your unique evaluation style and the evaluation points that you brought to the table. Any idea what's coming up next? Which section is coming up next? Oh no, we are not done. We still have a long way to reach the listener.
My evaluation.
Yes, absolutely. No, I was not excited for that. Sorry, I missed. I was excited thinking it's going to be the table topic section. However, we'll have to wait a little for that because now we have Toastmaster Priyanka, who would be evaluating the evaluation that was given by distinguished Toastmaster Saurav Datta. Timer, kindly note the timing for this is also 2 to 3 minutes.
Timer, for your timing, I would like to apologize. I am facing a technical issue with regarding to my camera, so I will not be in front of the camera. Okay, and so now I will start. So a very good morning to all the fellow Toastmasters, guests, and distinguished Toastmaster Saurav Datta in particular. What I really like about you, Team Saurav Datta, is that you've always been a person with clarity, and today also it showed the same. What was something that really personally I liked is when you read the guidelines of the speaker, you very clearly put across what was the feedback that the speaker got, which also gave me clarity on what points that I need to pay attention about the speaker when I'm listening to the speaker, just not me, to the audience also. That was very well put across. I liked the way that you started the entire evaluation with an example, which made it very clear to people that how important when you are sharing an information, it is important to bind it with a very relatable example so that people can relate. Because when a topic, something that is very finance, which is very complicated and not everyone would have that knowledge, you very well put across it's so important that you understand your audience and have a very relatable example and put those points across. I conquered most of the points that you had evaluated about the speaker. You very nicely also put across the points about the when a subject like this is given, the points, when you are giving too many points as to the audience, how important it is to choose the points in a way that the audience, the target audience, can catch the points that you're looking for. And you also couple that with very good examples so that the speaker in the future, when they try to give their speak, they can have that in mind. A couple of things that I felt could have also been given attention was, as it was given, though you did cover that, the main thing was about voice modulation, body language and pace. You did cover on the pace, but I felt that a little more attention with regarding, you could have given examples about how the speaker could have used his voice and his body, because I felt he had that space where he was standing and giving his speech. So if you could have given a little bit of illustration about how he could present himself on when he giving a speech like this. Also something that a little more about when a topic like this is given, to not to cover so many points, just one or two, keeping the audience in mind with and also could have also put across being a little more interactive with the audience, because this is a topic that all of us kind of we like it, we don't like it, we are into investments or something, but also question the audience. If these two things were put across, I felt it could have also helped the speaker a little more. Wrapping up altogether, I felt it was a fantastic evaluation, and evaluation coming by you is always very valuable. Maybe adding these 2 points could have also helped the speaker, I felt. Over to you. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Priyanka, for that lovely evaluation. Moving ahead, let me invite Toastmaster Syed to evaluate the evaluation given by distinguished Toastmaster Nancy Goyal.
Yep, I think the beauty of the speech and speaker was we have effective coaching evaluated by engaging humor, and the engaging humor is further evaluated by somebody who is pursuing presentation mastery. Okay, so here is the emergence of the evaluator. I will say no, not emergence. It is the re-emergence of a seasoned evaluator and a person who is actually coaching the evaluation. The starting was very crisp, clear with the objective and why the objective is met, because it was about the research and presenting that research, which is clear in the beginning itself. You also gave example about how the conduct and the explanation about the conduct went. You mentioned about the storyline, which was again going in flow with the speech, clear. You had 2 recommendations, body language. I think it was also clear and could have been better. You mentioned about starting with the background. I think that was something could have been again better here. One recommendation I will have here is about the structure. Although you mentioned structure was okay, and I agree with that, I think it could have been put in the challenging part, that if there is a research, it is generally a bit complicated to understand, which he tried to simplify. But if it is put in structure like main point, sub point, story, facts and data going together, going back to the main point and then repeating. For example, there was a point about there were 2 points. One is about the humility, and second is about the receptive to others' ideas. So those could be main points, and then there could be explanation backed up with data and research topic, and then come back and summarize those 2-3 points or whatever main sub points with data and with the message. That could have been a challenging task to the speaker. I think that's the only improvement I will recommend. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Syed, for that lovely, brilliant evaluation. Moving ahead, I know I should have that excitement back now. The question that I asked you earlier, any idea what is the next section? The next section is the table topic section. Absolutely, the TTM. That's right, Toastmaster Pratyush. Let me not take up the limelight in trying to explain what happens in the TTM section. However, let me introduce the Toast Table Topic Master of the Day. Toastmaster Ashwini is a graduate engineer from Ramaya and currently works for the Akshay Patra Foundation in the corporate partnership team. Her interest includes hiking, watching podcasts, playing chess. Let me invite Toastmaster Ashwini on stage. DTM Saurav Datta, your hand is raised.
Yeah, we have to conduct the polls before the TTM.
Yes, sure. Sorry.
Conducting the polls now. You can do some audience interaction while we can launch the polls.
Okay.
Best
Can you
speaker.
get the timer report first?
Yeah, timer. Nitish, can you give out the timings for the speakers and the evaluators, please?
Just mention if there is any disqualification on the basis of time.
So timing on speakers. So speaker 2, TM Ritvik, he took 8 minutes and 42 seconds. That is the time. Like next speaker 3, TM Nagesh, 7 minutes and 4 seconds. And third is like speaker 1, who is TM Pranav, 6 minutes 30 seconds. Is it clear?
So Nancy, can you edit the poll for the speakers? We will remove speaker 2 from the.
Yes, that's done. Also for the evaluators, please. In the meanwhile, Saurav,
Yeah.
you can launch speaker 2.
Sure. So timing for evaluators. So here evaluator 4, Priyanka, 3 minutes 27 seconds. Then next evaluator 2, Saurav, 3 minutes 24 seconds. Next evaluator 1, 2 minutes and 49 seconds. And last evaluator 5, Sayed, 2 minutes and 16 seconds.
What was my time, Toastmaster Nitish? Evaluator 3.
Evaluator 3, 3 minutes and 11 seconds.
Okay, all are qualified. Thank you.
Yeah.
Lakshmi, you can continue your interactions. We will finish this poll and launch the next poll. Then you can hand over to the TTM. Or maybe Ashwini can start with explaining what is the TTM.
Yes. I think let her start because we are slightly running short of time. Toastmaster Ashwini, the stage is all yours. And I think we can take up to 4 topics today, keeping the time factor in mind. Toastmaster Ashwini, are you here?
Yes. Hey, hi. I hope you're able to see me. Yeah. Great. Good morning, Toastmasters and dear guests. How is it going?
Great, going wonderful.
Great then. So by the time we finish the polls, maybe I can just give you a brief of what is table topics, right? So for those of you who are new to Toastmasters. So table topics, as we all know, is an opportunity for us to practice our impromptu speaking. And how it works is basically either I call upon volunteers or you can volunteer to take up the topics. And we have 1 to 2 minutes to talk on the topic. So timer, please note, it's at 1 minute, you can show green card, and 1 minute, 30 seconds, it's a yellow card, and at 2 minutes, it's a red card. And again, we have 30 seconds of grace period to wrap up the speech. So with that, without any ado, we can get started if the polls are done.
No, we have received only 2 votes. We have to, can everyone please vote on the poll? I don't know if it is.
It was showing some error code.
I'll try to relaunch that then.
Yeah, we were not able to submit.
Okay, it's a relaunch now. Ashwini, you can continue in the meanwhile. Yes, we are receiving the votes.
Okay.
Don't worry about the votes.
Sure thing. Yes. So with that, let's get started with the impromptu speeches from all the interesting Toastmasters over here. So who would like to go first? Devyani.
For Devyani, yeah.
Devyani, yes. Devyani, choose a number between 1 to 8.
4.
4. So here's the topic for you. If you could swap places with any fictional character for a day, who would it be and why? I'll repeat the question for you again. If you could swap places with any fictional character for a day, who would it be and why? I'm also putting the topic in the chat box for your reference. Yeah, over to you. You can get started.
If I could swap lives with any fictional character, without a doubt, it would be Barbie. It may sound super out of the blue, but I as a kid, I used to stay up every day on a Friday night till 8 p.m. in the night, waiting for the Barbie movie to come on Pogo. And I would see Barbie and her friends flaunt their pretty dresses in their charm schools, playing with magic and learning magic. And as a kid, I was actually embarrassed that I used to do this, because I was in my years then, they were all, I'm not like other girls, I don't like pink, I don't like Barbie, because by then we had this very gendered structure of who was allowed to like Barbie and who isn't. So Barbie, yes. I wish to live a very carefree life like that. All I want to actually worry about is about what would happen in the charm schools, and what to wear the next day, and what my hair should look like, and what color should I wear that would pair with my complexion and all of that. And honestly, I want a life that is so easy, like Barbie has, and maybe have a musical, just randomly burst out into a song every day and have fun with my friends. So yes, if I could swap lives, I would swap it with Barbie.
Great. Good try, Devyani. We could see that sparkling smile on your face, just imagining the character, right? So we wish we could really go back and, actually leave that character. But yeah, with that, we'll move on to the second volunteer. Chayan, you want to go next? Yes. You can pick number between 1 to 8, except 4.
Why don't you pick a number for me?
Sorry, 3.
Why don't you pick a number for me?
Okay. I will give it to you. You want to go with 2?
That's fine. Go ahead.
Okay, great. What's your biggest fear and how have you worked to overcome it? What's your biggest fear and how have you worked to overcome it?
Ladies and gentlemen, the definition of fear changes with age. When I was a small boy, I was afraid of the dark. So I could never stay in a room which did not have any light. So I hail from a city of Kolkata, and when I was a small boy, which was a very, very long time ago, the city was plagued with what was called load shedding. It was very famous at that time because we were the only city in India which used to have power cuts. And there were so many evenings that I had to spend without there being any power in the dark. And that's where I learned the power of storytelling, where my grandfather used to spend that time ensuring that he was narrating stories. And in that darkness, I look back and realize that I used to absorb those stories much more. As I grew up, the fears changed. It came from grades in school to grades in jobs, the dreaded appraisal word, which has been so relevant right now. But then what I realized is that the only thing you fear is fear itself. Once you close your eyes and imagine the worst that can happen, you open your eyes, it doesn't feel that bad because you already imagined the worst that would happen. And then you do not fear the unknown. You know exactly what you need to do and how you need to move forward. Many times in life, we also go through those strange emotions where we do not know what's going to happen next, or we are just waiting for something to happen. But the true definition of life is living each day As famously said by Rocky Balboa, it's not the number of times you are hit, it's the number of times you get back up. And life will keep hitting you and putting you down. It's up to you to stand up and keep walking. Because as you walk, you overcome not just fear, but the strongest of adversity that comes your way. Madam Topic Master.
Thank you so much, DTM Chayan. That was an inspiring speech. It was like, wow, that's what it is. Yeah. So who would like to go next? I see Elio's hand rise. Would you like to take up the next topic?
Yes, please.
Yeah, you can choose a number between 1 to 8, except for and 2.
8.
6.
8.
6.
8. 8.
8.
Yes, 8.
Yeah. So the topic for you is, if you could collaborate with anyone in the world on an idea or a project, who would it be? Do you want to work with Elon Musk? Do you want to work with any other celebrities you want to? So what is it? So basically, I'll again simplify it for you. If you could collaborate with anyone in the world on an idea or project, who would it be? And what would you want to work together? So I'm also putting the topic in the chat box for your reference.
Okay, thank you. I will read the question.
Are you able to access the topic?
Yes, I can. I can start now?
Yes, you can get started.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, the Toastmasters introduce you the AI. And yes, maybe you don't know what is AI, or maybe you know what is AI. But artificial intelligence here is also so wonderful. Like there is a CEO in China that held by an AI. Can you imagine? The top of the chair, the top of the ladder of the company is led by an AI. And yes, this AI is so wonderful that the creator of the AI itself is the one that I would like to collaborate. And what is the project about is, of course, about the improvement of the AI, how AI can help people's life. And in Toastmasters International, we just got a collaboration with Udely.ai. And yes, of course, maybe you don't know who made this, who created these wonderful tools. And yes, if I get the chance, I would like to have a collaboration with him, because I have promoted this Udely to every single club that I have visited. I get the benefit of it, and I would like to the people of Toastmasters International to learn from the AI itself. AI can help us. AI can improve our speeches in impromptu or prepared, or even we can play games with that. So what are you waiting for? Sign up now in Udely.ai. And if you have the referral link there, you can invite all of your friends, either they are Toastmaster or not Toastmasters, because this Udely app can help you to be a better speaker. And even it is so wonderful, you can play games with your friends. So sign up now. Swipe up, swipe up, swipe up. Well, there is no swipe up feature here in Toastmaster or in Zoom right now, but yes, swipe up. Back to you, DTM.
Great. Amazing. Thank you so much for that informative speech, Elis. So we in fact used Udely app for our previous meeting, and it has a lot of content. So we all should explore, definitely. So with that, we'll move on with the next volunteer. Who would like to go next? Pranav. Yeah. Can you choose a number between 1 to 7, except 4 and 2?
You choose an easy topic.
you want an easy topic.
Yeah. Okay. I will choose number 7.
1 to 7, except 4 and 2.
7.
7 is already okay. No, yeah. So the topic for you is, if you are a character in a book or a movie, who would you be and why? If you are a character, if you are a character in a book or a movie, who would you be and why? I'm also putting this topic in the chat box.
Can you type it?
Yes, I'm doing that. I hope you're able to access the topic.
Superman. I want to be a Superman. What can a Superman not do? He can do anything. One day, he will be the savior of the world, saving people. One day, he will be going to the school and teaching kids. He has the ability to memorize a lot of stuff, and he can do teaching also very well. That is what I believe. Another thing, he could save Earth from the biggest disasters in this universe. Earth is going to get destroyed one day. But believe me, Superman will save you from that. He can prevent the phenomenon of black hole. What else can a Superman do? He can stop the terrorists from attacking our country. He can actually visualize anything before it happens. He can go to the future country and of India, and he can prevent any unforeseen disasters or attacks which are going to happen in our country. Then he can go and he can actually save people from falling from large buildings, just like Batman can do that. But Batman is not so powerful, right? Superman, he is very powerful. He has the ability to do anything. He may not have the technology like Batman does, or maybe he is not as thin as Spider-Man. Spider-Man, if you hit, he may fly away. But Superman, he has the muscular body, just like I am showing to you. So he can be the president of the country. He can prevent large missiles from attacking our country. So I think if there is a character which I would like to be, it should be Superman. Thank you, and over to you.
Great. Thank you so much, Pranav. It was a strong speech. We could feel you. Yeah. Dear Moody, can we take up one more table topic speech? Or are we running out of time?
We are running about 10 minutes behind schedule. So,
okay.
If we
I'm so sorry, Paduka. Maybe in the next meeting. Yeah. Great. Yeah. Over to you, Lakshmi.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Ashwini, for getting all of us to think on the various wonderful topics that you had brought here. So I would request Toastmaster, our timer for today, to just let us know if all the speakers were within time.
Yeah, so volunteer 2 and 3, they crossed 2 minutes. So volunteer 2, 2 minutes, 5 seconds. Volunteer 3, 2 minutes and 7 seconds.
Okay.
Other two are within that time range, like 1 minute and 42 seconds.
Okay.
Volunteer 1 and volunteer 4, 1 minute and 55 seconds.
Okay, thank you so much. So I think the polls had come up on your screen.
All are within time.
Yeah, with just to add,
all
that
are
is
within time.
Always a grace.
Yes. So 30-second grace we had, right?
Okay.
All are within time. It's okay.
Sure.
You can continue with the meeting.
Okay. So going ahead with the next part of the meeting, that section which lets us know how well our meeting went and what are our improvement area. For that, I would like to call upon the general evaluator of the day, Toastmaster Vikram Rajgopal.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Lakshmi. A great meeting till now. I now request my counter, Toastmaster Sri Lakshmi, to submit her report.
Thank you, G. Nancy, can you please give me the screen sharing right, please?
Yes, it's on, Toastmaster.
Thank you, Nancy. I'll share it. Now, coming to the R counter report, I want to congratulate G. In spite of being impromptu speaker, I couldn't make a note of single and I want to congratulate Toastmaster Sayyed also. He also haven't used it. And Lakshmi, in spite of being TM mode, used only twice. Pillar words only twice. And Toastmaster and essay used it only once. And surprisingly, many table topic speaker used it. Haven't used it. They haven't used it single. I think Chayan, Ilios, Pranav, haven't used it. And now coming to the speaker, just a second. Coming to the speakers, Toastmaster speaker one Pranav, I haven't find a filler words from Pranav a single. And Toastmaster Ritik, I can find it 8 times and 4 times and so multiple times. And Toastmaster Nagesh, congratulations. You haven't used single filler words. I am totally involved in your speech, but you haven't used single. And Ashwini used it for 4 times. And word so 4. And table topic speaker one, I can find Devyani 4 times, once, and word so once. And UL letter one, Priyanka used it 11 times and word so twice. And DTM Sauro Datta, before he used multiple times, today he used only thrice. And sorry, Paduka used it 11 times. I'm sorry. I'm because of name. And Priyanka used it 8 times. Toastmaster Paduka used word so also 2 times. And Toastmaster Sayed used only twice. And total we had total 56 filler words and or twice, once, and word and 6 times, and and so total 14. This is the graph of our filler words. Hope everyone can see it, right?
Yes.
Just a second. Everyone can see it, right? This is the report. What do you see?
Thank you so much. Now we move on to the grammarian, Toastmaster Pratyush.
Thank you, Toastmasters Vikram. Yeah, so it was difficult to find faults or in terms of grammar. But yeah, I'll start with the good usage. And first of all, the word of the day. The presiding officer Sayed Sahib has used the word of the day quite often. And then going to good usage of the words. The first speaker I would like to say he was totally when there was a power cut, he was totally unfluctuated by the power cut, and this continued. So applause for that. And then the good usage of word enamored in the second speaker, and what gets measured, the phrase what gets measured gets managed. And we also learned from the third speaker the use of intellectual humility. The term intellectual humility and the phrase of the curiosity is the wick of in the candle of learning. And there's another phrase which Saurabh used in God we trust and rest all must bring data. And in the table topics we heard the phrase the only thing we need to fear is fear itself. So such were the good usages which we came across. Some improvements which I would like to suggest is in the first speaker I had 2 options. It should be options, not option. And it's quite nitpicking. And then the second speaker, if there is one learning, this should be this, but it should be this. And the third speaker, neither of them were wrong. It should not be were, it should be was. Neither of them was wrong. So just these few errors, and rest everything was okay. Over to you, Toastmasters Vikram.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Pratyush. Now we have our listener role. Toastmaster Vikram is going to ask us so many questions, and we will have to answer.
Thank you, Toastmaster Vikram. I know we're running a little short of time, so I have some questions, and let me see if all of you can answer that. My first question to you: what was our T-Mod Lakshmi's first response when DTM Nancy checked if she can take up this role?
Just
She was thinking. Yep, absolutely. Thank you. What is the prop that Toastmaster Pranav used in the initial part of his speech?
His finger.
Piece of a paper.
Piece of paper. Good one. Yes, absolutely. Piece of paper. Okay, fill in the blanks. Sentence said by Toastmaster Ritvik. What gets measured gets dash.
It's managed.
It's managed. Wonderful. Thank you. Okay, this is a tough one. Let's see how many of you are able to crack this. What is the fourth learning which Toastmaster Ritvik spoke about during his speech?
Time value
Okay,
of money.
tough one.
Insurance should not be considered as investment.
That was the second one. Okay, in the interest of time, I'm going to reveal that income inflation should be greater than the lifestyle inflation. Okay, maybe I'll do one more just in the interest of time. Who was the athlete Toastmaster Nagesh spoke about when he mentioned intellectual humility?
Usain Bolt.
Usain Bolt. Lovely. Awesome. We have such an awesomely listening audience. Thank you so much. Over to you, G.
Thank you, Toastmaster Vikram. Let me table my report. Gabbys Toastmaster meeting. Before even the meeting, the planning started so early. I remember Toastmaster Nancy buzzing me on Saturday. That's last Saturday, probably immediately after the end of the meeting. It shows the conscious efforts in arranging a Toastmaster meeting week after week. The agenda was shared a day before, a perfect template of how a Toastmaster meeting agenda should be. Today, the meeting started perfectly at 10 a.m. That's what all Toastmasters are known for. No matter whether all the role players were in, speakers were in, evaluators were in, the meeting started at 10 a.m. But a little point of note here, I request all the role players and the Toastmaster speakers and evaluators to not give tension to the Vice President Education. Please tune in 5 minutes before the start of the meeting, because the tension of the VPE starts the minute the meeting ends for the next meeting, and it goes on till the meeting starts. The Sergeant at Arms, presiding officer and Toastmaster of the day gave a good start. Always those first few minutes in a meeting sets the tone. It's always a wow for the guest when all these three align so well. In fact, Toastmaster of the day, Lakshmi, all through the meeting was engaging and energetic. Evaluator 1, Paduka, for Pranav, certain places you need to pause. It was a perfect observation. DTM Saurabh, evaluation 2 for Ritvik, please be kind to the souls like me. My goodness, that was a wonderful line by Toastmaster Datta. Priyanka did a wonderful job to evaluate Toastmaster Saurabh. In fact, DTM Saurabh, not an easy job. DTM Nancy, evaluator 3 for Nagesh. His speech had this quality which we see in an international speech contest district level. And what about Nancy's evaluation? It had a district level evaluation contestant. Content very heavy on years. What a good observation is that. And I'm sure Toastmaster Nagesh, it is a classic speech from you. Side's evaluation on Nancy's evaluation was flawless. Table topic master Toastmaster Ashwini, you got very less time to conduct the table topics, but still you are so enthusiastic, waiting for the session to start. One point here is, I will repeat the question for you. Please rephrase it as, I will repeat the topic for you, because table topic necessarily need not be questions always. Toastmaster Pranav, the topic for the table topic before you and after you is always easy. And the table topic that is for you is always tough. So do not ask for an easy topic any time during a table topics. Toastmaster Ashwini, you can always push people to volunteer instead of asking who next. You can ask, Ankit, I've not seen you. Mamta, I just saw you in the first 5 minutes of the meeting. Ganesh, you're not turned on the camera. Like that, if you can push people, I'm sure that people would like to volunteer for you. My recommendations, if I still remember my first meeting in Toastmasters that happened way back in 2013 as a guest, that's because of the applause I heard for everyone. I did not see any virtual applause when we began the meeting. Probably we can all unmute our audios first, have a thunderous applause, and then start the meeting, because Toastmasters is all about recommendation. My second one is, maybe between the prepared speech or evaluation speech, or just before the TT session, we can request everyone to switch on the camera and take a screenshot. Waiting till the end of the meeting, probably we may have a screen fatigue. So this is what my recommendations, and my GE report for the Gabbys Toastmaster meeting. Over to you, Toastmaster Lakshmi.
Thank you so much, General Evaluator of the Day, Toastmaster Vikram Rajgopal. You have consolidated, summarized the entire meeting so well in just these few crisp words. Because in today's world, most of us have this issue with focus and concentration, but you ensured that we paid attention and grabbed every bit of it. Thank you so much. The auxiliary role takers poll is up. If you're wondering, or rather, do you have any idea why somewhere in between the meeting, when I was trying to introduce the evaluators, I was a little tongue-tied. I was stammering a bit. I don't know if a few of you noticed that. Any idea why that happened? Anyone?
Collecting thoughts during that duration.
Absolutely. But what happened to my thoughts? Why was it not here?
No idea.
No idea. Get idea. Okay, let me tell you quickly. So what happened was the window, the room where I'm sitting, there's a window right next to me, and that window was open. And the house help of my neighbor was on full on Josh washing those vessels and clothes. And she went tap, 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 tap. While I was trying to concentrate here, all that my ears and mind was trying to focus on was that noise that was coming out from outside. Because of which I lost my focus here. And I decided, no, this is not what's going to happen. I shut out the noise by closing the window, which helped me regain the focus back into the meeting and what I was supposed to do. A lot of times what happens is we lose focus, concentration. And we do not take out time to understand why that has happened. We do not ask ourselves the 5 whys. Why this? Why this? Why? If we can do that, the solution to a lot of problems can come to us even without an external help. Sometimes it is as simple as shutting off that window from where the noise is coming. Next time you think or you have a question, any idea what I should do, ask yourself first. Ask the 5 whys, and that will take you to the answer that you much needed. With this, I would like to hand over the meeting back to the presiding officer of the day, Toastmaster Syed.
Yeah, in the meantime, can we also have poll for role takers?
That's
And
planned.
yeah, sure. Then it's time to get some feedback from guests. I see we have Chayan Pant, we have Varat Maranathan, Jyoti Mandal, Ilyas, and others are, I think, keep coming also here. But let's start with Jyoti Mandal because she had some chat message also. Jyoti, are you there?
She's left. Jyoti, Chayan, no one is there. I think we have Ilyas, our friend. Ilyas, I think we would love to have you as a dual member of the Gabbys. Please do consider. Sure. I hate to call you a guest anymore. So Ilyas is someone we can start with. Then. No other
fine. Go ahead, Ilyas. How was your
Hello,
experience?
can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Any ideas to improve this meeting? So that's my opening statement about this meeting. The catchy catchphrase that you got there, and how the thought process that the TMOD bring the behind the scene. So yes, I always salute to the Gabbys here, not only the Achievers Club, but also think about the members first. And that's the, what they call it, the perspective or the perception that we should have for all clubs in the world, that they should think about the members first. Sometimes the club is so focused on the TCP that they forget that they are serving their members. So yes, to conclude this, I love the meeting. I love the trip, the team also, the team and the team that conducting these meetings with great efforts. Because I saw you also conducting the meeting before this. So I mean, you have 2 meetings in 1 week. That's such a great dedication for a Toastmasters. And yes, thank you for offering PM Sora. As you are doing your great job as PPM. So back to you. Yo.
Yep. Please do consider DTM Saurav's recommendation. Thank you. Few words from Toastmaster Priyanka.
Hello,
Priyanka, are you
everyone.
there?
Yes,
Yes.
I'm sorry. It's just that my laptop isn't working the way it's supposed to. But yeah, like I always say, Gabby's meeting, it's always a pleasure to be a part of it. You always get to learn a lot being a part of Gabby's meeting. And I must say, today's speeches were really very informational and educative. At least that's what I felt. So I would like to thank Nancy for inviting me and the entire Gabby's. And I look forward for more meetings to be a part of. Thank you, Presiding Officer Syed.
Thank you. Thank you. And then let us hear something from our general evaluator again. Anything you would like to add other than what you mentioned in your general evaluation?
I had specifically told Nancy that my family is back to Vadodara with my wife and child and here. I'm going to give less time to Toastmasters. But when she invited me for Gabby's Toastmasters, I had to come. I said, okay, fine. I told my wife, please give me 2 hours. I cannot miss this, such a wonderful Toastmaster meeting from Gabby's. So this is what all talks about what Gabby's is for me.
Perfect. So I think it's time to announce the results for me now. Let me start with.
Toastmaster, I would
Yes.
also like to hear it from Toastmaster Pratyush, who's joining us as role taker, but as a guest to Gabbys.
Yeah, sure.
Yes, you're speaking on mute.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, same here. Like always, it's a great pleasure to be here. And like people say, if you read 10 books, you get to live the lives of those 10 authors. And similarly, if you hear 3 speakers, they put in their views, their experiences in that. So it's always great to be a part of such gatherings. And the Gary is a good place to be. Thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you, Pratish. Okay, can we go for the results? Fine. So first one I'll take, I think, table topic speaker who gave the life GAN. He's not there now. Chayan Pant is the best table topic speaker. Best evaluator with the examples, DTM Saurabh Datta. Best speaker, a researcher, Nagesh Ramamurthy. And best auxiliary role taker, a careful listener, and the person who asked many intellectual questions from the meeting, Vikram Rao. And finally, the best role taker is the master of the ceremony, Toastmaster of the day, Lakshmi Sujata. We are dot on time. We still have few seconds to go. Anybody wants to say anything?
I wanted to say something. I wanted to specially appreciate Nitesh. Nitesh, it takes a lot of courage to take a role. I think this is your first meeting as a role taker, and the role of a timer is not easy. It looks like the easiest role, but trust me, it's one of the toughest roles because you have to be indistractable for the entire 2 hours And you managed to do that. You didn't get flustered. You didn't have the timer cards. It is something that we could do a better job, as a club, and we will do that for future meetings. But hats off to you, Nitesh. I really appreciate the way you kind of kept your cool and kept on going. And DTM Nancy, I think it's amazing, that you're actually not only finding all the hidden gems from within the club, but also beyond the club. Pratyush, Vikram on one hand, Nitesh and Lakshmi on one hand, you're literally pulling people back from sleep, and they're hitting the ground running, right? So you have some secret skills, but whatever it is, just give it to yourself, because that's the secret of the Gabbys, right? So that's our trade secret. Thank you so much. Over to you, Toastmaster Sayed.
So with that, we will close the meeting and see you maybe next week, unless our VP says there is a special meeting on Thursday. Again, goodbye for now.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Saurav,
everyone.
yesterday you met Vivek. Vivek was in the
Yeah.